Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva, tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Shri Dakshinamurti Sudeshikendram Dvaipayanam Sutrakritam Munindram Sri Shankaram Bhashyakritam Yatindram Madheshikanchapi Namami Vidyai. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsarishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvopaplavarahita Prajnana Ganaha Pratyagarto Brahmaivahamasmi. Om Prapannaparijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gita Mrtaduhe Namaha. Pranams everyone. We are in chapter 3, Sloka number 33. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sadrisham Cheshtate Swasyaha Prakriterjnanavanapi Prakritim Yanti Bhutani Nigraham Kim Karishyati. So Bhagavan in Sloka 31 and 32, in Sloka 30 he actually summarized Karma Yoga, and then in 31 and 32 he gave what would happen to people who follow Karma Yoga in Sloka 31, and in Sloka 32 he gave the consequences of people not following Karma Yoga. If you follow Karma Yoga, Bhagavan said, automatically it will lead you to one day to Jnana Yoga, and through Jnanam you will get Moksha, Mukti. You will be freed from the bonds of Karma. And in Sloka 32 he said, who these indiscriminate people who criticize this teaching and also not follow it, they will be doomed one day. They will be doomed, Nashtan. And they will be completely deluded with respect to all knowledge. That's what he said. Now in Sloka 33, as I said in the last class, 33 and 34 would have to be understood together. By understanding just the 33, one might get a wrong understanding of what Bhagavan is conveying here. So anyway, in this Sloka, first we will go into this Sloka. First, we saw that this Sloka tries to answer few questions here. First, why do people behave in a manner that they behave? And why are each person different from each other? So we saw that we see even in our daily lives, people coming from the same family, they could be brothers and sisters, but each one have their own way of thinking, their own likes and dislikes, their thought process, the way they react to situations. Even for twins, it is not the same. So, why do they behave that way? Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha prakritir jnanavanapi. That's what Bhagavan says. Swasya prakritehe. One's own gunas, one's own swabhava. Swabhava means the guna, the character of a person. Sadrisham. Sadrisham means it is in keeping with one's nature. So it is Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha. In keeping with one's nature, cheshtate, they behave. So people lead their lives in keeping with each one's nature. Or in other words, Bhagavan says everyone behaves according to their nature. Every individual, they lead their lives according to their Swabhava. Now what is this Swabhava? The Swabhava, as I said, is a nature and it is different from person to person. What is it that determines a person's nature? What is the reason why different people have different Swabhava? Now, every individual has got their tendencies, or in Sanskrit, on Vedantic term, we say vasanas. These vasanas that come out of every individual's previous births, that those actions in our previous births will create an impression or would have created an impression in our mind, that is known as vasanas. And the actions that we would have taken in our previous lives could have resulted either in papa samskaras or punya samskaras. Samskaras means impressions. Those impressions that are there in our mind that exhibit in our current life is called as vasana. So the antakarana of each jiva meaning each individual, it has this purva janma krita dharma adharma samskaras. The purva janma krita means the purva janma krita dharma adharma samskaraha vartamana janma abhivaktaha. It is the definition of prakriti. That's what Shankaracharya gives us the definition of prakriti. Purva janma krita dharma adharma samskaraha vartamana janma abhivaktaha. The vasanas that manifest due to the impressions that have been created in our previous births, due to the various dharmic and adharmic actions. So in our previous births, we would have done a lot of dharma, a lot of adharma. Those actions would have created some impressions in our mind. That impressions that when they exhibit in this current life, it's called as prakriti, character, guna, vasana. Those samskaras that manifest in this current life is called as prakriti. And these past impressions become evident or noticeable, or we can say it becomes visible in this current janma. The one that actually exhibits in this current janma, that vasana, is called as guna, Swabhava. And that guna or Swabhava is referred to Bhagavan here as prakriti. Prakriti here means the guna or Swabhava. What is that guna or Swabhava? It is the manifestation of the impressions that have been collected over previous births due to our various dharmic and adharmic actions. And that is the reason why every individual have their own life, their own likes and dislikes, on their own likes and dislikes on people, color, situation, things, whatever. And that is the reason why different people exhibit different behavior for the similar situation. Some people in a situation get angry, some people get agitated, some people are calm, same situation. The reason being, these are stored as samskaras in their minds, and it is not visible. It's very sukshma, it's very subtle. We will not be able to see the character of the person. We will be able to see the character, or we think we see the character only by what he exhibits at a particular point of time. And these samskaras are the ones that determine how the person lead their lives. And because every individual has got their own different sets of lives, we will see difference in their character and behavior in the current janma. And that's the reason why even if they are born as twins in this janma, even if they are born of the same parents in this janma, even if they have got their same upbringing, their likes and dislikes, their behavior would be different. Their character would be different. So Bhagavan here says, Cheshtate sadrisham swasyaha prakritehe. Everyone behaves according to their nature. Now, everyone does it include all beings? Bhagavan says, everybody behaves according to their nature. Every one of us. Then the question asks, what about a jnani? What about a jnani? Bhagavan says, Jnanavan api jnanavan. Even a jnani, even a man of knowledge, even a jnani behaves according to his prakriti. Even a jnani behaves according to his prakriti, just like even as an ignorant man would actually behave according to his prakriti. So nobody can escape, nobody can let go of their Swabhava. So however, we must understand this api jnanavan, which means even a jnani. So let's understand. Even if a jnani is not able to let go of his Swabhava, then what to say of normal ignorant person? That's what the first line says. So every man of knowledge, even a man of knowledge, every individual, even a man of knowledge, acts according to his nature. Then in the second line, prakritim yanti bhutani nigraham kim karishyati. Prakritim yanti bhutani. Bhutani means all beings. All beings yanti, go by, they go by prakritim. All beings go by their nature. All beings go by their nature. So, if all Bhagavan raises an akshepam here, nigraham kim karishyati? What is akshepam? So, if a person wants to go to a particular place and we say there is nothing to gain from going there, you are not going to gain anything by going there. So, when we actually raise this objection, we say, why are you going there? When we say why are you going there, it is not that we are expecting him to give an answer as to what is the reason for him to go there. It is more for us to raise an objection that there is nothing to gain from there, so why are you going there? So that is called as akshepa. So here Bhagavan raises an akshepa. Kim nigraha karishyati? What will restraint do? When every individual can live their life only according to their Swabhava, according to their nature, then what is the use of asking them to not live according to that? That is what Bhagavan says in the second line. All beings go by their nature. What will restraint do? In other words, do not try to stop someone from behaving according to their Swabhava. There is no use to that. Give everyone the freedom to live according to their prakriti. There is no use of stopping that. In fact, one cannot stop any individual to live their life according to their prakriti. That's why I said even in the last class, if Bhagavan wanted to stop the Mahabharata, if Bhagavan thinks that he could actually change the nature of people, then he should have just removed the jealousy from Duryodhana's mind. That would have stopped the entire Mahabharata war. But that is not possible. Prakritim yanti bhutani. All beings go by the nature. Nigraham kim karishyati. What is the use of stopping them according to their nature? We cannot change anyone's behavior. We cannot change their speech, their words, their choice of words. We cannot change their actions. We cannot change their priorities. We cannot change their likes and dislikes. Why? Because this is a result of the samskaras they have gathered over zillions of actions that they have performed over zillions of lives that that Jiva had taken. We have created these vasanas over innumerous number of janmas. We have lived during the lives of Krishna, we have lived during the lives of Rama. We don't know what body we had taken, but we have all lived through that. We have lived through so many yugas. So we have created all these samskaras. And therefore, we cannot change any other person's behavior, speech, choice of words, the way they react. their priority. The only thing we can do is we can feel bad about it. But Shastras and Vedanta says there is no need for you to feel bad about it. And the problem for us is we want everyone who is close to us, our family members, my relatives, my neighbors, my friends, to all behave according to a Swabhava that my mind wants. Not that it is the universal truth for Shastras. This is what the Shastra says. We have a particular expectation and we want the people to behave according to our mind. When we are parents, we want the child to behave that way. When we become elderly, we want our parents to behave the way we want also. So this, what Bhagavan says, is it's a fundamental knowledge that we must understand deeply and we must incorporate in our lives. And to sort of ensure that we get this clear understanding, Bhagavan goes to the extent of saying that even a jnani cannot live leaving behind his Swabhava. So what do we understand? Every person has their individual Swabhava. They cannot live letting go of it. A fish can only live on water. That is according to its nature. Suppose if you think, oh, the fish is not enjoying the nature, the mountains, the trees, the clouds. And then we take it out of the water. It cannot survive. In the same way, again to reiterate, every individual, they lead their life according to their Swabhava. We should not stop them. There is no use of stopping them. Now we'll see some technicality here. Jnanavan, the word Jnanavan. What does the word Jnanavan mean? There can be two meanings to it. The first meaning, Jnanavan, can mean a person who knows what is right and what is wrong. Jnanavan means he is a person, Gunadosha Jnanavan. He understands what is right, what is wrong. So this is a person of knowledge. So if we take that as the meaning and we apply it here, so even for a person who knows what is right and what is wrong, he is not able to live according to what is right and what is wrong, but is able to live his life mostly according to his Swabhava only. So he may know what is right, he may know what is wrong, but he will not be able to live according to that knowledge. For example, tell me, which doctor does not know that smoking is bad for health? Everybody knows, and the doctor knows the most, but there are still so many doctors who smoke. So it's not that they don't have the knowledge, but they are not able to live according to it. So in this place, here Jnanavan can refer to a person who has the knowledge of dharma and adharma. A person may have the knowledge of dharma and adharma, but even him will not be able to live according to it, may have to live according to his Swabhava. So this does not have any problem. If we take Jnanavan to be a man of knowledge on dharma and adharma matters. Now if we take the second meaning of Jnanavan, when we say Jnanavan, it means Atmajnani. So here now we say, even an Atmajnani lives according to his Swabhava. Now here we could get a doubt here, which means, does an Atmajnani then will not be able to live according to the dharma viveka? He has the viveka. Atmajnani of course will have dharma viveka. Then does that mean that he also will not be able to live according to his viveka? Now here we will have to understand one thing is, in the pursuit of Atmajnana, the seeker, the person, would have already removed his adharmic tendencies. this person will have, this jnani will have only dharma prakriti. He will have a swabhava which is not against atma jnana. And that swabhava which is in line with dharma. When we say he will not let go of swabhava, means he will not let go of his dharmic swabhava. He leads his life according to that. So when we say swabhava, it does not mean only adharmic vasanas. A person can be having dharmic vasanas also, dharmic swabhava also. So here in this case, he will not be able to let go of his dharmic swabhava. But swabhava includes whether he's got too many rajo, whether he's got sattva, too much of sattva. There can be differences according to the jiva. So say take Shankaracharya, Adi Shankara for example. Sure, he would have had a lot of rajoguna. That is why he had been to so many places. He debated with so many people. He gave bhashyam for so many scriptures. He took sishyas under him. So there is a rajas prakriti. There should have been a rajas prakriti in him. And he did not curtail his rajas prakriti. He did not say, now that I have become an Atma Jnani, I will not deal with this world. I will go to the forest, meditate, and I will do japa and live in this forest itself. He did not do that. He had this rajas prakriti which he had converted into a lot of dharmic actions, lot of actions for the welfare of the world. So, and there could be other jnanis who live in the forest. So even a jnani's life is governed by prakriti. They also get bound by their nature. So when we take biographies of many jnanis, all are jnanis only. All have got the same knowledge. Aham Brahmasmi. It is just that the lifestyle that they lead varies from individual to individual. Ramana Maharishi's lifestyle was different from Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, whose lifestyle was different from Vivekananda. So every jnani is different. But in this case, what we are saying, a jnani will not let go of his dharmic tendencies, because dharmic tendencies would have been his nature. So one jnani could withdraw from everything and sit in a cave. Another jnani would come out, establish institutions, write books, take on sishyas, so many things. Which jnani is great? Who has got a bigger Brahman? Nothing like that. Is an active jnani better than a passive jnani? And nothing like that. Active or passive, a jnani is a jnani. Only thing we have to understand is everybody live according to their swabhava. Now, question will come, how can we say that the jnani would have overcome the adharma samskaras? How would it is possible that they would have overcome this adharmic tendencies? So what we say, if they have not been able to win over their adharmic samskaras, they cannot become jnanis. Jnana would not come into their intellect and mind if there is adharma in it. Jnana can come only on a pure mind. A pure mind meaning Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi means no likes and dislikes. No likes and dislikes means there will be no desire. As in, the person would act according to dharma only. But what about a person who has got general knowledge on dharma? He has got a general knowledge on what is dharma, what is adharma. In that case, this person also acts according to his nature, and this nature could be adharmic also. Just because somebody has knowledge of dharma and adharma, does it mean that they have overcome that? No. Who is the best example? We ourselves. We know what is right, we know what is wrong, and yet we do things that are not right. we are not able to live according to our knowledge. So what should we do to live according to the knowledge then? That is the answer that Bhagavan is going to give in the next sloka. That's why we said we should read this sloka together. Not only that, there is another thing also. But let's look at this sloka's essence now, or summary of this sloka. Every individual lives according to their Swabhava. That's the first point we have to understand. Even a jnani lives according to his Swabhava or nature. All beings go by their nature. It is impossible to change the nature. It is impossible to change another person's nature. Okay? So do not try to change another person's nature. It is impossible. We will only face failure. Nobody can change another person's nature. Bhagavan has already said that earlier. Even for as an advice to Jnani earlier in Sloka 26, he said, Na buddhi bedam janayet, he said to a Jnani, do not confuse the Ajnanis. So we should let others lead their life according to their prakriti, their nature, their character. Now we'll go to Sloka number 34. Indriyasyendriyasyarte ragadveshau vyavastithau tayor navashamagachet tyauhyasya paripamtinau. Indriyasyendriyasyarte ragadveshau vyavastithau tayor navashamagachet tyauhyasya paripamtinau. So, if we go by last sloka, there is a conclusion that we would have made. And what is the conclusion that we would have made? A person's character is not subject to change. Because why? Every individual will live according to their nature. And what is their nature? Their nature is based on the impressions that they have collected over previous lives. And therefore, a person's nature cannot be changed. This is what we would have concluded. Now, by this conclusion, there are two other things that we could conclude from here. One is Shastrasya anartakyam. Anartakyam means uselessness. Shastrasya anartakyam. If we go by this statement that a person's character is not subject to change, then Shastras are useless. Dharma Shastra is not required. Because why? Shastra is teaching us what is Dharma, what is Adharma, telling us to live by Dharma. But if people are going to live according to their nature, then what is the use of Shastras teaching us Dharma? What is the use of Shastras telling this is Dharma, this is Adharma? Live according to live your life according to Dharma. There is no purpose for Dharma Shastra. There is no purpose for Moksha Shastra. Because whatever the Shastra says doesn't matter. This person is going to live according to his nature. So, Shastrasya anartakyam. The second one is Prayatnasya anartakyam. There is a uselessness of self-effort. If everybody is going to live according to their nature, then we can always conclude that there is no self-effort or free will. There is no free will there. Because people are going to live according to their tendencies. Where is the question of free will? So that could be the conclusion that we could have made, and that we going by only that sloka. If people listen to only that sloka, this is the conclusion that we would arrive at. So in the previous sloka, Bhagavan had established that everyone has a nature. They can live according to only that. They cannot let it go. And now If we listen to that alone, what we could have arrived at? 2 doshas. What are the 2 doshas? Shastrasya anarthakyam, prayatnasya anarthakyam. Now, the parihara, the answer to these 2 doshas are given in this sloka. And in this sloka, while giving the answer, Bhagavan is not going to take back anything that was said in the previous sloka. He is not going to say, no, there are always some exceptions. He is not going to contradict anything that was said there also. He is not going to deny whatever he said. But if we read this sloka, keeping all the things that he had said in the previous sloka in our mind, we will be able to connect this and decide and agree that these 2 doshas do not exist. These 2 doshas will be negated. Let us see how, and then go to the sloka. We will do a vichara first and then go to the sloka. Now, we said every person's mind has samskaras, impressions. Now, what are those impressions? What are those samskaras? Papa punya samskaras, or we can say dharma adharma samskaras. And what do these samskaras do to the individual? What happens is, when we see things in this world, the samskaras that we have in the mind will start creating or will create likes and dislikes in our mind. The moment I see something, I'll have a liking towards it or a dislike towards it. The moment I see it, the reason is my samskaras are the cause. So we see so many things in this world, so many people, so many situations. The moment I see this person, I do not like this person. The moment I see this person, I like this person. Certain things, the moment I see it, I like it. I look at a particular jewelry, I immediately like it. I look at a particular saree, I immediately like it. I look at a particular saree, I do not like it. Another person may have the liking for that saree. That is a different thing. My likes and dislikes are a result of the samskaras that I have built over multiple janmas. And that is true with either people, relations, things, situations, whatever. Some situations, some people evoke a sense of attachment. The moment I see this person, I want to talk to this person. I want to get close to this person. The moment I see this person, I don't want to talk to this person. I dislike this person. There is an aversion towards that person. So what happens? These samskaras actually manifest whenever this person gets in contact with an object. So the samskaras are not evident by themselves. They get manifest in the form of likes and dislikes whenever we get in contact with the object. Now some people, they get fooled. I do not have any desire in this world. I do not have any desire. I can do, I don't have any desire for anything. Some people might say it. That is wrong. They could be wrong. That is because, why? Because the samskaras could be hidden. The samskaras could be dormant. These people would not have got into a situation in which these samskaras can manifest. That's all. The moment they get into a situation where these samskaras can manifest, it will come out as a like or dislike. And that samskaras will be noticeable when we get into that situation. We'll say, for example, we'll say he is a poor guy, he's full of integrity. He's very honest, he's very clean, he's very straightforward. But then what happens is, when he soon gets money, what happens? People say, oh, he has changed after getting money. What is the reason? Earlier there was no reason for those samskaras to manifest. There were no occasions for those samskaras to manifest. Now that he has got into a different situation, those samskaras are able to manifest now. It showed up. That's how the samskaras work. Now, how does this process work? Let us see it in step by step. First, we all have this dharma, adharma samskaras in dormant form. Within our mind, it is all dormant. What is that dharma, adharma samskaras? We will not know. We ourselves will not know. We will not be able to meditate, go into the mind and be able to find out how much of dharma samskaras, how much of adharma samskaras we have. We cannot do that. That's the first step. It remains dormant. Now the second step, what happens is, whenever an appropriate situation arises, whenever we meet a particular person, whenever we get into a particular situation, that relevant samskaras exhibit themselves. They manifest themselves, the samskaras. But how do they manifest? They manifest as raga dvesha. They manifest as likes and dislikes. That's the second step. Now what we see, the third step, in our lives we would have seen that not all the likes and dislikes that we have manifest into action. We may have a liking for certain thing, but we may not act on it. We may have a dislike on something, but we may not act on it. We have got so many desires. Have we been able to fulfill all of them? No. Because not all these raga dveshas in our mind manifest themselves into pravrti, into an action. So in this third step, what happens? What can we conclude from this third step? That if the raga dvesha must manifest itself into an action, it requires some other support. It is not automatic. The raga dvesha, when the samskaras to exhibit themselves as raga dvesha, is automatic. But for the raga dvesha to be converted into action, it's not automatic. It requires some other support. What is that support? That support is our viveka and our prayatna. Viveka meaning our knowledge. Our knowledge that we have attained in this janma. And our prayatna, our effort. Now, if these two things support the raga dvesha, then the raga dvesha manifests or morphs itself into an action. If the raga dvesha, so if our knowledge and if our effort does not support the raga dvesha, then the raga dvesha does not manifest itself into an action. It does not turn itself into an action. So what do we understand from here? Each person's prakriti, each one's swabhava is capable of giving only raga dvesha. But what happens afterwards? Whether the raga dvesha should turn itself into a pravriti, into an action, that depends on our knowledge that we have gained from shastras and our free will. Those are the two doshas that we talked about. Remember, one shastrasya anarthakyam, prayatnasya anarthakyam. Those two, shastras, our knowledge on shastras, and our prayatna, our effort, those two are required for converting our likes and dislikes into action. So what do we understand? The prakriti, I'm using two words. Prakriti is nature, pravriti is action. The prakriti is not directly responsible for actions. If prakriti is directly responsible for our actions, then we can say shastras are useless, free will is useless. But what is important to note is that prakriti, the nature, it cannot manifest into action without our effort. So the samskaras or the swabhavas will not directly convert into action without our purushartha. Purushartha in this sense is free will. Purushartha means sometimes we use as goals, human goals. Parama purushartha we say as moksha. In this case, purushartha means free will. So the samskaras will not directly convert itself into action without our free will. Now the question comes, how much of power, how much of Shakti does this prakriti have? How much of power does this nature have? The nature has the power to regulate our likes and dislikes. It has the power to regulate our raga dvesha. If that is the case, what can we derive from what we can take out as corollary? We can say, I can say, I do not have a choice on my raga dvesha. We do not have a choice on the likes and dislikes that sprout in our mind. What sort of likes and dislikes come out of our mind is not in our hands. But I can decide on whether to act on it. Because once the thought comes into my mind, that like or dislike, whether to act or not is in my hands. It requires the support from my knowledge and my free will. We'll take an example. Suppose a person has not studied Shastras, so which means he has not gathered or imbibed any good values or good character in his life. And he does not know what is dharma, what is adharma. He does not have a knowledge on those things. And suppose for him this adharmic samskara shows up. And it results in a liking for him to do an adharmic activity. Now when the liking comes up, because he has not studied Shastras or has the benefit of having a proper guru in life, he does not have this knowledge of right and wrong. And therefore this raga, this attachment does not get checked. There is no check, there is no one to stop him from a knowledge standpoint. And what happens? The purushartha combines with this prakriti, it becomes pravritti, it becomes an action. Now take another person who's got this same adharma samskara, but in this case he has studied, in this person's case he has studied Shastras, and therefore he has this knowledge of dharma and adharma, papa, punya, all those things. So the moment this adharmic samskara comes up, it has resulted in a raga. But what happens? His knowledge has been able to keep that raga in check. Oh, that is a papa, that is a punya, that is a papa, that is an adharma. And therefore it does not allow his prakriti to manifest itself into an action. So that is the difference between, or how we can use this dharma how we can use this dharma viveka to control our prakriti to control our pravriti from converting itself into an action. We cannot expect our mind to have only dharmic samskaras. It's not that we can say, my mind is very pure, I have only dharmic samskaras. We will have both in our mind. And both will project itself as raga dvesha. But before that raga dvesha manifests, we will have to put a check. We'll have to ensure that we do not get carried away by raga dvesha. What we have to do is, we have to use the accumulated viveka. That's why we listen to Shastras, keep listening to Shastras. The more we listen, the more the knowledge gets imbibed, the more the knowledge gets into our subconscious mind, the more the shraddha that we have will be able to convert that knowledge into conviction. And along with our prayatna, we will be able to control the raga dvesha, adharmic raga dvesha, and live a life according to dharma. So 4 points again. Every individual has dharma samskaras in dormant form. That is the first point. Second point, whenever an appropriate situation arises, the relevant samskaras exhibit themselves as ragadvesha. Third, if the ragadvesha is supported by our knowledge and our self-effort, viveka and prayatna, it manifests itself into an action. The fourth point, the dharma shastras and our free will help in keeping the ragadvesha in check, and it helps in making sure that we do not convert the adharma ragadvesha into action. And those are the 4 points. Remember, the free will cannot help in not creating ragadvesha at all. It does not have the power to create a new ragadvesha, the free will. As in, what happens is, as days go by letting the free will and knowledge support only the dharmic ragadvesha, following a life of dharma, slowly what happens is, the adharma samskaras will be burnt, will be roasted inside. Because they will not be able to exhibit themselves, they slowly get roasted. Remember, the current free will not be able to create ragadveshas. But what are these ragadveshas in the mind? These are also the results of our action only. It is not that Bhagavan has placed these ragadveshas in us and has actually made us behave this manner. We cannot blame the Bhagavan for this. These ragadveshas or the samskaras are basically the impressions that we have created in our past so many janmas. And how are the impressions created? By the actions that we do. Every action today that we do will create an impression that will form the samskara in our next lives. Whatever samskaras that we have today are the result of the actions that we have done in our previous lives. So, and the more we actually only work according to dharma, the more and more we are actually focused on doing dharmic activities, these impressions will now get more and more. So in the next lives, we will be able to see that manifesting more. So this, as slowly when we do that, the adharmic samskaras will be burnt, will be roasted inside. They will not come out. When jnana comes, when the atma jnana comes, what happens? When atma jnana comes, the adharmic samskaras are totally roasted, burnt. Bhagavan will talk about later in this chapter about this. So here Bhagavan says, sensory objects, ragadvesha will come, but we should not let that overrule our free will. So that's why I said it is not contradicting what Bhagavan has said in the previous sloka, but still we are able to reject those two doshas. Now we will go to the sloka. Indriyasya arte. Indriyasya arte. That is how we have to read it. Indriyasya arte. Indriyasya means in respect of every sense organ. Arte means towards the sense objects, towards the Vishayam. So what is the Vishayam? What are the sense objects, sense organs? The eyes are Indriyam. The form and color are Vishayam, Arte. The ears are Indriyam. Sound is Arte, Vishayam. The tongue is Indriyam. The taste is Arte, Vishayam. So the 5 Jnanendriyas and its Vishayas, the 5 Karmendriyas and its Vishayas, what it will be like there? What will be there? Ragadveshav, likes and dislikes. Ragadvesha means likes and dislikes. Vyavastitav, they are bound to be there. They must be there. Avashyam bhavinav, It will be produced. Whenever the sense organs and the sense object come into contact, likes and dislikes are bound to be produced. We do not have any strength to control it. That's why we say, I told you, right? I mean, the first time we will be meeting somebody, we will say, I don't like this person. The first time we will be meeting somebody, I like this person. Immediately. Vyavastitau, it is certain to be there. Second line, Thayorna vashama gachet, na agachet. One should not come under. What? Tayoho. Tayoho means there. It's pronoun. Tayoho means there. Whose there means ragadvesha. Tayoho vasham. Vasham means control. In Tamil also we say, en vasham irukku. We have it in our control. Tayoho vasham agachet. Na agachet. Tayorna vasham agachet. Do not give support to this likes and dislikes. If there is a feeling of hatred, do not add fuel to it. Suppose we don't like somebody, do not keep thinking about this to add fuel to it. I don't like this person. You tell this to your mind, you tell somebody, it only adds more and more to it. So where does our effort come in? Our effort is ineffective whenever the ragadvesha thought comes. But our effort is required when the surfaced ragadvesha has to be converted into an action. And we must control it to see it does not turn into action. And the moment we have acted, can we do something about it? Nothing. The moment that action is there, we have two results out of it. One is the drishtapalam and adrishtapalam. The moment we have acted on it, there is a papa punya to it. The samskara will be created. The results of the action cannot be stopped. In one other place, Bhagavan will say, it is like leaving the arrow from the bow. Once the arrow is let go, you cannot control it. We can only reap what we sow. The moment we act on it, it will produce the result. So we should not let our mind be in the control of ragadvesha. So Bhagavan is accepting that we are not responsible for the initial thought of likes and dislikes. Only samskaras are responsible. That is also ours only, but at least in this life we do not have we cannot take responsibility for this. But if we dig deeper, we know our actions from countless births have been the cause of it. But we cannot do anything now. Let us accept it. So anything that cannot be done anything now, we have to accept it. We cannot cry over it. We need not feel guilty about it. We just need to know, okay, I have this. Now I have to ensure that it does not convert itself into action. Do not let the samskaras show up. So, two samskaras, dharma, adharma. At that time, we should not say, let the dharma samskaras also not show up. Dharma samskaras must show up. Adharma samskaras, we should control them. So, whenever there is a tendency for us to lie, whenever there is a tendency for us to cheat, whenever there is a tendency for us to talk ill of others, whenever there is a tendency for us to criticize someone, think of harming someone, cursing someone, we should restrain ourselves. We should not convert them into words. We should definitely not convert them into action, but we should stop them to convert itself into words also. If the thought comes, okay, at least let me not exhibit it in words, because the moment we exhibit it in words, we are telling our mind to sort of make further impressions of it. Now we have another question. Why not the raga dvesha take its own course? Why should we be aware of it? Why should we control them? Why should it not let them control us? Bhagavan says, Tauhasya paripantinau. Tauhasya paripantinau. He means because tau, they are, asya means his, because they are his. Who is his here? The spiritual seeker. Us. We are talking about ourselves. Paripantinau means they are thieves, enemies. Panta means path. Paripanti means a robber who steals from travelers. In Tamil we say Vazhipari. Paripanti. The exact meaning is Tamil is Vazhipari. Those people, they do not come to your home and steal. They steal from travelers. Those days when travelers used to travel carrying bags of gold or whatever gold money in their bags, these people, today we say mugging, that kind of thing. So here we are going in a path. Which path? Spiritual path. And these people steal us from, they steal from us. Who are they? The Ragadvesha. When we are on this path to moksha, these two robbers, Raga and Desha, they steal from us. What do they steal from us? Bhagavan is going to say later, they will steal from us our viveka, our power to discriminate. Our power to discriminate what is right, what is wrong. They will steal from us. But here in this sloka, what does Bhagavan want to convey? Our enemies are our own Ragadvesha. Our enemies are not in the workplace. Our enemies are not in the in-laws family, in our own family, in our relative circle, in our friend circle. Our enemies are our likes and dislikes. In fact, in this chapter, Bhagavan is only going to talk about Ragadvesha from now on. So, the arrival of thought is not in our control. It is dependent on Swabhava. But the perpetuation of the thought, that is in our hands. And the free will to decide whether to act on it or not is also in our hands. So a little more on this, we will see it in the next class. Any questions or comments? If not, we will see again in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.